Welcome to Tell Me More Stories Told This podcast.
Hello.
Today, we're embarking on, well, really an adventure into the life of a true musical force, an artist who seems to constantly reshape himself.
Also known, of course, as the very intense, very captivating Agust D.
Exactly. So get ready, everyone, because we're going to uncover the layers of this incredibly fascinating creator.
That's right. We're diving deep into the journey of Min Yoon-gi. You definitely know him as Suga from the global phenomenon BTS.
Global Wars.
But his solo work as Agust D, that reveals, I think, an even more intimate and, well, powerful side.
So our goal today is really to chart those key moments, right? The sparks, the achievement.
The evolution of the South Korean artist.
Yeah.
And actually, here's a fun little piece to kick things off.
Go on.
Did you know his stage name, Suga, it actually comes from his basketball days?
Basketball. Seriously, not music.
Nope, basketball. Shooting guard.
Fantastic. Okay, I love that. Right, let's unpack this then. Min Yoon-gi, born in Daegu, South Korea, March 9, 1993.
Yep, younger of two sons. Grew up there.
So his early life, education, it started in Daegu, Daejeon Elementary, Gwanya Middle School.
That's right, then Apgujeong High School later.
Yeah.
And he didn't stop there with education, actually.
Oh, university too.
He enrolled at Global Cyber University, got a degree in broadcasting and entertainment.
Okay.
And then even went on to Hanyang Cyber University for an MBA.
An MBA, wow. In advertising and media?
Yeah.
But it wasn't like the lecture halls that first sparked the music, was it? They came earlier.
Oh, much earlier. And the spark, funnily enough, came from a really specific sound. Stony Skunk's Ragamuffin.
Right, I remember reading that.
He said it was just completely different from anything he'd heard before, kind of opened a door.
So Sonic Gateway, maybe.
Exactly. And that led him to another huge influence, Epic High.
Ah, Epic High. Legends.
Absolutely. And hearing them really solidified his desire, okay, I want to be a rapper.
And he wasn't just dreaming about it, right? He actually started doing stuff.
Yeah, immediately. By age 13, he was already writing lyrics and teaching himself MIDI.
13. And learning MIDI. That's the nuts and bolts of production.
It really is a key tool. So he was serious from the get-go.
So captivated by a song, then actively learning the tools. And it wasn't just a hobby in his bedroom.
Not at all. By 17, he was already working part-time at a record studio.
17 and in a studio.
Yeah, imagine that. Composing, arranging music, rapping, performing, getting that hands-on experience.
That must have been an absolutely incredible training ground. Way better than just theory.
Totally. It gave him a real understanding of the whole process, start to finish. And even before, big hit entertainment, he was active in the underground scene as a rapper named Gloss.
Gloss. Okay, another name.
And as part of a hip-hop crew, D-Town, back in 2010, he produced a really significant track.
D-Town. And what was the track?
It's called 518062.
51062. Wait, that's the date for the Gwangju Uprising, isn't it?
It is a song commemorating that event.
Wow. So even back then, as a teenager in the underground scene, he was tackling really serious, historically significant themes.
Exactly. It wasn't just about, cool rhymes. There was substance there, a message right from the start.
That says a lot about his intentions as an artist, even that early.
It really does, that commitment to substance. It was there, and then came the big shift. He joined Big Hit Entertainment.
Right. But not initially as a performer.
No, that's an interesting part. He joined as a music producer first.
So he was shaping the sound before he was actually, training to be in the group.
Precisely. Then he trained for 3 years alongside J-Hope and RM.
The iconic trio.
And then June 2013, debuted as Suga in BTS with No More Dream.
Cool for school. Talk about a trajectory change. From producer to global idol.
And his impact on BTS's music, it's just immense. He's produced and written lyrics for so many of their tracks.
Countless. But even within that group dynamic, he always found ways to inject his own specific voice, didn't he?
Absolutely. Think about those intro tracks he did for their EPs.
Oh, yeah. Those were always highlights. Intro, the most beautiful moment in life.
Right, using that sports metaphor to talk about the fears of growing up.
So clever. And then intro. Never mind.
Yeah, that one was so raw. Looking back at his teenage years, the struggle.
He really felt like mini autobiographies, not just album intros, little windows into his world.
They were early signs of that powerful personal storytelling through rap. And it continued, later on, Interlude, Shadow, from Map of the Soul 7.
Right, reflecting on the sheer scale of BTS's fame, referencing those earlier dreams.
It's like a consistent thread, that introspection. And we can't forget his solo songs within BTS albums.
Definitely not First Love.
Yes, that rap serenade to his childhood piano. It's like the piano was a person, a friend.
It felt so personal, so vulnerable. The way he personified it, really moving.
It was. And then trivia. Seesaw from Love Yourself. Answer.
Yeah. But the ups and downs of falling in love, that push and pull.
Such a mature take on relationships. These tracks gave us such great insight into his individual style, even within the BTS framework.
They really did.
Yeah.
But I guess that desire for something even more unfiltered, maybe, that led to Agust D.
Precisely. That led to his solo work under that different name. And in 2016, he did something pretty bold.
The first mixtape.
Agust D.
Released completely free on SoundCloud.
Which was a statement in itself, right? Bypassing the whole commercial system.
Totally. He said he didn't want to feel, quote, trapped in some sort of framework.
Speaks volumes about his priorities as an artist. Integrity first.
And the content of that mixtape. Wow. It was incredibly raw. He talked about depression, social phobia, things that weren't often discussed so openly.
Especially not in K-pop at the time. It felt like a massive shift, offering this really uncensored look at his own struggles.
It created such a powerful connection. People resonated with that honesty, that vulnerability. It was a real statement of authenticity.
It absolutely was. And his talent wasn't just confined to his own rapping either. He was producing for others too. Right. In 2017, he composed Wine for Suran.
Oh, such a great song.
Became a huge hit. Reached #2 on the GAN charts, won Best R&B at the Melon Music Awards.
So that really proved his skills as a producer beyond just his own stuff, showed his versatility.
Definitely. Crafting hits for others. Then, 2018, he re-released Agust D, the mixtape, but this time on digital platforms like Spotify and Apple Music.
And it charted.
Yep, #3 on Billboard's World Albums chart, which again just cemented his impact as a solo artist globally.
His collaborations have been amazing too. Always felt very curated and interesting, like with Lee Sora.
Song Request, yeah. Co-written with Tableau from Epic High.
Talk about respect, working with one of his own heroes.
Exactly. And that same year, 2019, he produced Eternal Sunshine for Epic High's Sleepless in EP.
Full circle moment there.
And produced High's massive hit, We Don't Talk Together. His production range is just incredible.
It really is. And then came the international features. Halsey.
Suga's interlude on her album Manic, he featured and produced. That definitely boosted his recognition as a producer worldwide.
Big moment. Followed by that massive collab with IU.
2020, top charts everywhere. Going digital, world digital song sales. Just phenomenal.
Such a beautiful track, that perfect blend of their styles. And then, still in 2020, he dropped his second mixtape.
D2.
With that killer single, Daechwita, the music video.
Unforgettable. And D2 made history. Peaked at #11 on the Billboard 200. At the time, that was the highest ever for a Korean soloist in the U.S.
Amazing. And #7 in the U.K., too.
Huge milestones. Really showed the global power of his solo work.
And he just kept creating. 2021, he recomposed Samsung's ringtone.
Yeah, Over the Horizon. Put his own spin on that iconic melody.
Even the phone ringtone gets the Suga touch.
He also produced You for the Japanese singer AMI that year.
And then the feature on Juice WRLD's posthumous track, Girl of My Dreams.
Right, debuting on the Billboard Hot 100. Another significant collaboration showing his reach.
And we can't possibly forget 2022.
Sigh.
That. Produced by Suga, featuring Suga.
Co-written, too. That song was just pure energy everywhere.
Massive hit. Showed he could nail that high-energy vibe just as well as the introspective stuff.
Definitely. And speaking of showing different sides, his talk show, Daechwita.
Launched in 2022 on YouTube. Yeah, that's been great.
It's so cool seeing him just chat. More relaxed, candid conversations with other artists. It shows a whole other dimension.
It really does. Offers a different kind of connection.
Yeah.
And his influence, it started spreading beyond just music, too.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, in 2023, he became a brand ambassador for Valentino.
High fashion. Okay.
And Valentino in the NBA. That's quite the range.
Isn't it? From high fashion to pro basketball. And then musically, 2023 was huge again. His debut solo album,
D-Day, under the Agust D name.
featuring tracks like People P2 and Hagium.
And it debuted incredibly high, right? #2 on the Billboard 200.
Tied the record at the time for the highest charting South Korean solo artist. Just massive.
It really felt like a culmination, that album, bringing everything together.
It did. And there was that Disney Plus documentary too, Suga Road to D-Day.
Yeah, I watched that.
Yeah.
Really fascinating look behind the scenes, the whole process.
Gave such great insight into his journey. He also did a radio show on Apple Music, Agust D Radio, to promote it.
And embarked on his first solo world tour.
The Suga Agust D tour, seeing him command those stages all by himself.
Must have been incredible. And proof that his earlier work still resonates the last from the first mixtape.
Yeah.
Hit over 100 million streams on Spotify in October 2023, years later.
Wow. That's staying power. Okay, let's circle back quickly to the names. We mentioned Suga and basketball.
Right, the shooting guard thing. It's from the first syllables. Suga.
Exactly. Just a fun little connection to his past.
I love it. You wouldn't immediately connect that athletic past with this intense artist.
Not necessarily. And then Agust D, that's clever too.
How does that one break down?
It's DT for Daegu town, his hometown.
Ah, Daegu town.
And Suga, spelled backwards. Agust TD.
DT Suga backwards.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. So it anchors him to his roots, but also flips the script, creates a separate identity.
Perfectly put. Two sides of the same coin, maybe. Connected, but distinct.
It allows for different kinds of expression. And his artistry, I mean, he's so involved in every step.
Totally. He writes, composes, arranges, mixes, masters, the whole package.
The Korea Music Copyright Association credits him with, what, over 160 songs?
Over 160, yeah. That level of creative control is pretty amazing.
And his sound, primarily hip-hop and R&B.
Mostly, yeah. But his piano playing often adds this really unique, sometimes melancholic, sometimes beautiful layer.
Definitely. And the lyrics, they always feel so purposeful.
Themes of dreams, hope, but also the struggles, the darkness. He aims to give strength, I think.
You really feel that. That vulnerability translates into connection. He's not afraid to go there.
And he always credits those early influences like Stony Skunk, Epic High.
And now he's that influence for a whole new generation.
Absolutely. And the recognition has followed. Promoted to a full member of KOMCA in 2018.
Big deal in the Korean music industry.
Yeah. Consistently ranks high in those Gallup Korea Idol preference surveys. And of course, the Hwagwon Order of Cultural Merit in 2018.
A huge national honor for promoting Korean culture globally.
Huge. And then in 2021, he and the rest of BTS were appointed special presidential envoys for future generations and culture.
Using their platform on a global diplomatic level, essentially. Incredible.
On the personal side, he's established himself, bought an apartment in Hanamdong in Seoul.
Reflects that success. But he's also faced health challenges, hasn't he?
Yeah, he had appendicitis surgery way back in 2013, had to miss some year-end activities.
Oh, I remember that.
And more recently, shoulder surgery in 2020 for an issue that had apparently plagued him for years, even since before debut.
Just shows that resilience, dealing with physical stuff while maintaining that schedule.
Definitely. And as of September 2023, he began his mandatory military service.
Right, serving as a social worker, fulfilling that duty.
Now, outside of music and duty, his philanthropy is really something else.
He's known for being incredibly generous, isn't he?
Yeah.
Especially around his birthday.
Very. He consistently makes significant donations to orphanages, cancer foundations, often in the name of ARMY, the fan base.
That's a lovely touch involving the fans. And for disaster relief, too.
Yes, including for wildfire relief efforts. Most recently, in March 2025, he made another donation. It's a consistent pattern of giving back.
That's deeply admirable. And he's also been outspoken on certain issues.
He's openly discussed mental health, which is still quite taboo in many places, and shown support for LGBTQ plus equality using his platform.
Important stance to take. Now, his journey hasn't been without bumps in the road. There was an incident in 2024.
Yes. In August 2024, he was involved in a DUI incident while riding an electric scooter in Seoul.
Right.
Following that, his driver's license was revoked, and in September 2024, he received a fine after pleading guilty.
Okay, so that brought a period of public attention and scrutiny.
It did. It was a significant challenge, and something both he and his agency addressed publicly. It's part of his story now.
A reminder that public figures face complex situations and, well, make mistakes like anyone else.
Exactly. Despite that, though, his artistic impact and the sheer volume of his achievements remain undeniable.
Absolutely. The awards alone, both with BTS and solo. Melon Music Awards, Memmy Awards, Golden Disc Awards.
Numerous wins and nominations, and global recognition, too, nominated for a Billboard Music Award and a Grammy nomination as a songwriter.
That Grammy nod as a songwriter is huge. Recognizes the craft itself.
It really is. His entire journey is just this powerful story of hard work, of a really unique artistic vision and this incredible knack for connecting with people.
Yeah, on a really deep personal level, from underground rapper Gloss to Suga of BTS to Agust D. He just keeps evolving, challenging himself and us.
He does. It's a narrative of growth, resilience, and that constant drive for authentic expression through music.
And now is probably a perfect time to hit that subscribe button.
Good idea.
Stay tuned to Tell Me More for more deep dives like this one. You won't want to miss the stories we have coming up.
Definitely subscribe. So yeah, today's exploration into Suga's world, it really shows this compelling story, doesn't it? Artistic evolution, personal strength, that drive to connect.
From Daegu Town to global stages, BTS success, the introspective solo work. It's marked by incredible highs and, yes, some real challenges too.
And knowing the story behind the names, now Suga from basketball, Agust D from Daegu Town, Suga backwards, it adds another layer, right? Shows that thoughtful approach to his identity.
It really does. It makes you think.
Consider this. How does an artist, any artist really, manage those intense pressures of global fame, that constant spotlight, while still holding on to that core need for personal expression, for being authentic?
It's the ultimate balancing act, isn't it?
It is, and Suga's journey, with all its facets, the triumphs and the difficulties, it really offers such a rich, complex example to think about. What parts of his story hit home for you? What might you want to dig into more?
Lots to think about there. Well, thank you so much for joining us on Tell Me More Stories Told This podcast.
Thank you.
We really hope this deep dive sparked your curiosity, maybe offered a few surprises. Until next time, keep asking questions.
And always seek to know more.